this is the brief on the launch of the Red Sea Container Terminal at Sokhna Port. So, Egypt's prime minister just officially kicked off commercial operations at the new Red Sea Container Terminal. And look, this is a really big deal. It's set to completely transform Sokhna Port's role in the region's entire maritime transport scene. First off, let's talk about the sheer scale here. We're looking at a terminal that, even just starting with Phase 1, has a total annual capacity of 3.5 million containers, what they call TEUs. That capacity alone makes Sokhna a major player. And get this, it's run by a powerhouse team of global experts. We're talking Hutchison, Costco, and CMA CGM. Second, the tech behind all this is, well, it's a game changer. This is a fully automated facility, which basically means human error is taken right out of the equation. It's all managed by a central digital brain system. We're talking massive cranes that unload the ships and stack containers, all automated. And, what's really important is that it's not just fast. It's all built on eco-friendly, energy-efficient technology. And finally, you have to look at the big picture. This whole project is a cornerstone of Egypt's Vision 2030 plan. The goal? To turn the country into a major regional hub for logistics and trade. Sokhna Port is that crucial link between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, and it's going to fuel huge industrial growth. Ultimately, this is all about boosting national exports to a really ambitious goal of $145 billion. So really, the Red Sea Container Terminal is the engine that's being built to power Egypt's trade ambitions and hit those major export goals.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, the only place where we take a complicated stack of sources and extract the knowledge you need to be thoroughly informed fast. Today, we're focusing on a massive shift happening in global logistics, specifically in Egypt. We're talking about the commercial launch of the Red Sea Container Terminal, or RSCT number 1 at Sokhna Port.
And our sources for this deep dive are, well, they're incredibly detailed reports on the official event. They leave no doubt about the stakes here. This wasn't just some ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Oh, not at all.
The report actually calls it a defining day in the development path of Sokhna Port and the Egyptian maritime transport sector.
That's the language of national transformation, not just building a new piece of infrastructure.
Exactly.
It absolutely is. So our mission for you today is to look past the cranes and the concrete and really understand the huge strategic goals underpinning this launch. If you want to understand where global supply chains are heading, you have to look at how nations are adapting their choke points.
Yeah.
And this facility, it's Egypt's answer.
It's their answer to global pressure for faster, more reliable transit. And the key takeaway we're driving toward is this. This launch isn't just incremental progress, it's the execution of a national strategy. A strategy aimed at fundamentally shifting Egypt's role in global trade.
So it's about leveraging their geography.
It's about leveraging their unmatched geography to become the logistics hub for the region, connecting 2 major seas, and crucially, providing the engine to hit some very ambitious national export targets.
Okay, let's unpack this, and let's start with the event itself, the commercial launch of RSCT-1. This was clearly treated as a state function, not just a port opening.
Oh, absolutely. It was a demonstration of serious national commitment. The event was led by the Prime Minister himself, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and he was there with Lieutenant General Eng Kamal Al-Wazir, who's the Deputy for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport.
So when you see the Prime Minister personally inaugurating a container terminal...
This facility is inextricably linked to the highest levels of national economic policy. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I noticed in the source material, the atmosphere really peaked with the arrival of the first official vessel. That was clearly a moment meant to demonstrate capability immediately.
Absolutely. The officials, they toured the pier, they got the presentations on the technology, and then they witnessed the arrival of the CMA CGM ship.
And the details here really matter.
They do. The ship arrived from Beirut and was carrying a staggering 13,000 containers.
13,000.
This was a deliberate choice. It was meant to prove right out of the gate that the terminal's deep water capacity was real, that they could handle massive modern ships, the ULCVs, the ultra-large container vessels.
13,000 containers is a huge symbolic load. Following that, the focus seems to have shifted from the water to the land, specifically the control center. And this is where we really get into the hardware.
Right.
The word giant is just everywhere in the equipment specs.
Because the scale demands it. To handle those ULCVs, you need specialized gear. The facility is equipped with 6 giant STS that's shipped-to-shore key cranes.
And these are the crucial interfaces.
They're the critical link. They're designed to reach across the massive width of today's biggest container ships and move cargo efficiently. Their capacity directly dictates the terminal's ability to compete with any other global port.
And then once the containers are off the ship, they enter the yard. This is where the real technological leap happens.
Yeah.
We heard that automation is key, but the sources emphasize it's about more than just moving boxes.
It is. The yard features 18 giant automated stacking cranes. What we need to understand here is that the automation isn't a luxury. It's a prerequisite for competitive global throughput.
A prerequisite.
Yes. The primary purpose of these smart systems is enabling 247 high-density stacking, maximizing every single square foot of the yard. This allows for rapid truck turnaround times, which is the metric that global carriers track most closely.
I see.
When automation cuts down the time a truck spends waiting to drop off or pick up a container, the terminal instantly becomes more appealing than its competitors in the region.
That's a fascinating refinement. So the technology is geared toward optimizing space and time, not just preventing an operator from making a mistake.
Precisely. Automation reduces costs, sure, but in the logistics world, reliability and speed. That's the real currency.
Okay, so let's talk about the operational structure. This is a fully automated terminal, and it's all supported by an advanced suite of systems. The sources mention a specialized terminal operating system, the TOS. Can you elaborate on what that TOS does? I mean, beyond simply tracking inventory.
The TOS is, well, it's essentially the artificial intelligence brain of the entire port. It's not just tracking, it's optimization. In a facility that's designed to hit 3.5 million TEUs annually, you just can't rely on manual decision-making.
Too complex.
Far too complex. The TOS manages the routing of every single container. From the moment it's discharged from the ship, it calculates the optimal spot to stack it in the yard, and then it ensures it's queued up for the next mode of transport, whether that's a truck or rail. This level of centralized control is vital for maximizing throughput and minimizing energy usage.
And speaking of energy usage, the focus on sustainability was interesting. They are clearly building this facility to modern standards.
They have to. The design incorporates specific eco-friendly technologies aimed at reducing emissions and enhancing energy efficiency. This is just a non-negotiable factor in the modern shipping industry.
So the big carriers demand it.
Exactly. Major lines like CMA, CGM, they have strong environmental goals, and they prioritize using ports that help them meet those targets. So, Sokhna is demonstrating that efficiency and environmental responsibility go hand in hand. It makes them an attractive partner.
Let's talk about the sheer scale this technology is supporting. The total planned capacity is. It's staggering.
It is. Once they complete both Phase 1, which is the launch we're discussing, and the anticipated Phase 2, the total planned annual capacity is set to hit 3.5 million TEUs.
And to put that in context for our listeners.
To put that in context, 3.5 million 20-foot equivalent units. That's basically a major city's worth of cargo passing through that single port facility every year.
Wow. And to handle that kind of volume and to ensure that global carriers actually trust this new facility, they couldn't just manage it domestically. And here's where it gets really, really interesting.
The high-level management.
Yes. The facility is managed by a powerhouse global consortium. We're talking Hutchison Ports, COSCO Shipping Ports, and CMA CGM. And this is more than just a joint venture. It's an immediate signal to the world that Sokhna operates at the very highest international standards.
So why do these specific names matter so much in the logistics world?
Because they bring market dominance and proven operational leadership. Hutchison is one of the world's largest terminal operators. That gives them unparalleled scale and expertise.
Okay, and COSCO.
COSCO's involvement is critical because they dominate key Asian shipping routes, which guarantees significant inbound traffic. And then you have CMA CGM, one of the world's largest container carriers.
So they're a customer and a partner. Right. It provides instant commercial confidence and shows they've committed their own fleet to using this terminal. The source material noted, these three bring over 50 years of combined high-level experience. It's Egypt immediately buying into world-class operational standards to compete with established regional terminals like Jebel Ali or Jeddah.
So Egypt is leveraging the operational expertise of the big three to instantly reduce the risk perception for other global carriers. That explains the speed and ambition.
It does. And now we can step back and look at the national implications, because the government frames this terminal opening as a paradigm shift in the maritime transport sector. This is directly implementing President Sisi's directives to aggressively develop and upgrade Egyptian ports.
So what's the ultimate strategic objective driving this massive investment?
The goal is transformative. is to solidify Egypt's status as a central regional hub for transit trade, transport, and logistics. They're capitalizing on the geographic gift of being flanked by two massive seas, the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, and leveraging the efficiency of the Suez Canal Economic Zone, the SC Zone.
And Sokhna Port is the key to unlocking that geographical advantage, specifically through the Sokhna-Alexandria logistics corridor. This concept needs some visualization for our listener.
Absolutely. Visualize a dedicated high-speed logistical highway cutting right across Egypt. Previously, cargo moving between Asia and Europe might take a lengthy route, sailing the entire Suez Canal. Now, with this corridor, you can move cargo seamlessly.
How so?
You can discharge the Asia-facing Red Sea at Sokhna, move it swiftly inland via highly efficient transport links, and then reload it at the European-facing Mediterranean at Alexandria, or vice versa.
So it's a land bridge.
It effectively creates a land bridge that bolsters the entire SC zone as a central industrial and logistics hub.
That sounds like a crucial shortcut for time-sensitive or specialized freight. It adds a valuable layer of flexibility to the traditional Suez Canal route.
Exactly. It provides an alternative mode of transport, which increases national resilience and offers differentiated services that appeal to different parts of the global supply chain. The efficiency of that corridor allows Egyptian goods to reach European markets faster and at a lower cost.
It's fascinating how quickly the industrial side is developing to meet this new logistical capacity. We noted the recent opening spree, including the Prime Minister opening 9 new factories in that area.
That's the symbiotic nature of the strategy. The industrial base needs a world-class export gateway, and the port needs cargo volume to justify its enormous capacity. These new factories, which are focused on producing competitive Egyptian exports, they require high-level, automated ports like RSCT-1 to maintain global price competitiveness. The investment in logistics is feeding the investment in industrial output.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this terminal is really a foundational element of Egypt Vision 2030, the National Long-Term Development Plan. How does this fit into that macroeconomic framework?
It's fundamental to the export strategy. By improving logistical efficiency and reducing costs, the terminal enhances Egypt's ability to open new competitive markets for its exports. It helps the nation compete head-to-head with other manufacturing economies.
So less friction in the supply chain means lower prices?
Friction in the supply chain translates directly to higher prices.
Yeah.
This project is designed to eliminate that friction.
And there's a massive, quantifiable ambition tied to this overall national push.
Yes. This development is explicitly aimed at achieving the most critical economic objective of Egypt Vision 2030, and that's reaching $145 billion in national exports.
$145 billion.
That's the target. This port is designed to be the physical engine capable of moving that staggering volume of goods onto the global stage. It demonstrates a complete alignment between infrastructure strategy and long-term economic targets.
This has been a thoroughly illuminating deep dive. So for you, the listener, the key takeaways from the commercial launch of RSCT-1 at Sokhna are really threefold. First, efficiency, achieved through massive automation, smart systems, and that crucial terminal operating system. Second, scale, an ultimate annual capacity of 3.5 million TEUs backed by the world's leading global carriers. And third, strategic depth, evidenced by the creation of that essential Sokhna-Alexandria C2C corridor.
It is crucial to walk away understanding that this is not just standard infrastructure spending. This is a calculated, globally significant move secured by the endorsement of Hutchison, Kaseko, and CMA-CGM, designed to permanently solidify Egypt's role as the definitive strategic waypoint and logistics facilitator in global supply chains. They aren't waiting for global trade to evolve. They're actively trying to dictate its future route through their territory.
And as we close, here's a provocative thought for you to consider based on the source material we analyzed today. Given that ambitious $145 billion export target and the reliance on the entire Sokhna-Alexandria logistics corridor to move that volume, what specific technological innovations will be necessary beyond the port gates? Think about in rail and inland connectivity or customs processing. What needs to happen to ensure this logistical highway fully realizes that massive export ambition and keeps Egyptian products competitive? Think about that as you go about your day. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
You know, sometimes a single event, something as simple as one ship docking at a new port, can kickstart a revolution. It might not look like much at first, but it can completely reshape a country's economic future. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now at Egypt's Sokhna Port, where one project is setting the stage for a whole new era in global trade. People on the ground are calling this a landmark day. And when you dig into the details, you really start to see why. This isn't just about pouring some new concrete. It's being seen as a genuine turning point, not just for the port, but for Egypt's entire maritime industry. So what actually happened?
Well, it all started with the arrival of the CMA-CGM, a massive vessel from a major global shipping line. And get this, the very first ship to pull into this brand new terminal was loaded with 13,000 containers. I mean, that's not a test run. That's a huge statement saying we are open for business and we are ready for the big leagues.
To handle that kind of volume, you need more than just brute force. You need brains. And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, the new Red Sea terminal. It's been built from the ground up to be both a giant in its scale and, well, a genius in how it operates.
Okay, so what's really fascinating here is this blend of technology and top-tier strategy. We're talking about a fully automated terminal. That means incredible speed and reliability. Fewer mistakes, faster turnaround times for ships. That is a massive competitive advantage in the world of shipping. But you know what the real seal of approval is? Look at who's running the place. It's a global consortium. We're talking heavy hitters like Hutchison, Costco, and CMA-CGM. When you get those guys on board, it's a huge vote of confidence from the international community. This isn't just some local project. It's a world-class operation right out of the gate.
Now, to make all that automation work, you need some seriously impressive hardware. The terminal has two main types of cranes doing the work. First, there are 6 of these enormous STS quay cranes. These are the heavy lifters, the ones that actually load and unload the giant ships. Then, once the containers are on land, you've got 18 automated yard cranes that zip around, sorting and stacking everything. It's like watching a perfectly synchronized high-tech ballet.
So you put all this incredible technology and hardware together, and what do you get? You get a mind-boggling number. When it's all said and done, this terminal is going to have an annual capacity of 3.5 million TEUs. Now, a TEU is just the standard 20-foot shipping container you see everywhere. So just try to picture it. 3.5 million of those boxes moving through this one port every single year. That's a huge, huge jump in capacity. And, as we're about to see, it's really just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
Yeah. As impressive as this terminal is by itself, its real power comes from its role in a much bigger national strategy. This was never just about building one great port. It's about rewiring how the entire country connects to the global economy. And this quote, which outlines the vision from President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, really says it all. The goal is to transform Egypt into a regional hub for transit trade, transportation, and logistics. It's about using the country's amazing location to its absolute fullest potential. And this new terminal at Sokhna? It's a cornerstone of that entire ambition.
This chart here shows that chain reaction perfectly. Just follow the logic. It all starts with the new terminal. That powerful facility energizes the entire Sokhna Port. That, in turn, becomes the southern anchor for a brand new logistics corridor that goes all the way up to Alexandria. And the end result? The whole Suez Canal Economic Zone, a major magnet for global industry, gets a massive boost.
What that Sokhna to Alexandria corridor really is, at its heart, is a modern land bridge. It's a high-speed artery that directly connects the Red Sea to the Mediterranean. Think of it as a strategic shortcut that makes the Suez Canal itself even more valuable by creating this seamless flow of goods right across the heart of Egypt.
Okay, so we've seen the cutting-edge hardware, the grand strategy, and the critical connections. But what's the end game? What is the one big measurable goal of this massive national effort? Well, it all boils down to one very, very ambitious number.
But before we reveal that number, it's super important to understand how they plan to get there. By building this hyper-efficient logistics network, stuff made in Egypt can get out to the rest of the world faster, more reliably, and cheaper. And when you're competing on the global stage, every hour and every penny counts. This new infrastructure is designed to give Egyptian exports that critical competitive edge.
And there it is, the grand prize that all of this work is shooting for. The goal is to help drive the value of Egyptian exports up to $145 billion a year by 2030. That is a bold, bold vision, and the new terminal at Sokhna Port is one of the main engines designed to power that journey.
So when you step back and look at all the pieces together, the incredible new terminal, the strategic corridor linking two seas, and that massive economic target, the real question that emerges is this:
How is this going to fundamentally change Egypt's position on the world trade map? It's a move that could really shake up trade flows across the entire region, and it is definitely one to keep an eye on.